Welcome to Indie Comic Stream here at Comics and Variety, Indie Comic Stream number 20. I am your host, Doc Hogg, along with my co-host, our boy, Great Lott.
Otherwise known as Sleepy.
Yes, well, you look like you're actually, you don't look, I mean, for you, Jeremy, I mean, you look like you've had, a couple cups of coffee over where you are now. You give it, you're up here now. This is your usual normal in terms of enthusiasm. You look like about, so I when we were back in the green room, I was like, oh my God, he looks excited.
Yeah, we're gonna go with Punch Drunk.
So how are things going with you, sir? It's been a while.
Yeah, a couple of really crappy nights of sleeping in a row have made me. I think I'm going to start seeing things.
Oh, okay, so yeah, so things are good in the sex life and everything.
Yeah. Well,
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
I want to apologize to everyone who we haven't streamed in a while. I have been not only a new job, but in the process of moving and finishing up the Tilt comic book campaign, getting everything shipped, and with the exception of a few stragglers, everything is shipped. So let me just very quickly here we'll just mention what we're going to do tonight. We are going to take a look at SkySharks. And we will also be taking a look at Perfect 10. And also just want to let you know my comic book Tilt is still in demand. There are a limited number of supplies left, so get them as soon as you possibly can.
How many, roughly, how many are left?
I can probably tell you here. Actually, I can tell you. Yeah, I've got about, if you want to get both a copy of each, 2 copies, one with each cover, the variant and the standard. I've got about 12 of those left. There are, of course, an unlimited number of the PDFs. There are 9 of the standard cover left, and then only 1 if you just want the individual with the variant cover. There's 1 of those left. So
okay, so dwindling it down. That's good.
Yeah. And
I would really recommend to people that you order this comic before it sells out. It's fun. It's not expensive, and you could probably get a second print later, but you want a first print. Just trust me.
Yeah, I will be offering that option in campaign number 2, which, by the way, I'm about halfway through the script. I just say I actually am halfway through the script as of today, so it's getting there. And yeah, alrighty, let's move on to just a quick bit of news. Some very interesting news, not for the news itself, but for the math. Now, Jeremy, did you know that and God bless our police officers and the men and women in blue. Hang on, let me.
It's a very difficult situation.
It's unclear when they will be able to get back home.
Shut up, autoplay.
Yeah, I know.
No one likes you, autoplay. We all hate you. We wish you would die in a fire, autoplay.
Police officer suicide rate more than doubles line of duty deaths in 2019, study shows. Now, here are the numbers. Remember, the line of duty deaths. The line of duty deaths are double the number of suicides.
Okay.
See something wrong there?
Yeah.
Now, I was talking about this. NBC News had.
Here's a question. So,
yeah,
did they get it wrong in the headline, or did they get it wrong here?
Oh, no, they got it wrong both.
Okay,
I mean, it looks like
that's impressive.
Yeah, no, I sent. There was a piece on NBC News today about a number of states and how high their COVID numbers were, and I was going to do a summary of it for the Examiner, but I ran the numbers myself, and I told my editor I think their numbers are off. what do you want to do about it? And he's like, well, just, do your own numbers and run the story. And, he just basically said, journalists do not do math. And I remember this story. And I'm like, yeah, they do not. Just a little tip, guys. If you want to know if number B is double of number A, you take number A and multiply it by 2, and then compare the result of that to number B.
Don't divide it.
Yeah, don't divide it. Okay, don't divide it. See, if
let me tell you guys,
that's fairly simple formula, you'll be all right.
The multiplication is an X. Okay. Yeah.
Multiplication is an X. Yeah, or it could be a little one of the on your computer. If you're using Excel, it's going to be the little asterisk. But
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Okay. Alrighty. Well, let's just in that case, why don't we just move on to our first comic today? Do you want to do yours or mine first?
What do yours first?
Okay. Yes. Alrighty. Here we go. Okay, Perfect 10, and I'll just show the full cover here. Hang on, push this out. We'll show the full cover here on view. Yeah, here's the here is the full cover. Very nice. Yes. Alrighty. This is basically a story about this is oh boy, now my mind is blinking. Okay,
she's a lab created not creature, but a lab created specimen who it's kind of like not Russian dolls. There was that show that Joss Whedon did. What was it called? Was it Russian Dolls?
I have not seen Russian Dolls.
Okay, so the idea is you have these people who they're like assassins, right? They're women that look really nice and they're assassins, and they get their mind wiped after every mission.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on here. There is this, and this is more of a synthetic human. It's not a actual. It is something created in a lab, and I'll have to say this. I'll say this. They are very creative in their ways of keeping this comic PG-13. And
it reminds me of Austin Powers. In that segment where they continue to cover the naughty bits just magically over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the art is quite good. I think this is a very nice splash page here where the one of the villains is coming in, and because she's a super enhanced hybrid here, she's able to defeat him. And yeah, boy, you got some real creative.
Yeah. And that shockwave that did a number.
Yeah. And then basically there are other creatures, beings that have been. I'm trying to remember what they. Oh, gosh.
Okay, so there are these there are super beings, right? That whatever they're called, we'll call them ultras, just to come with the name until we find out what it is here. And they, so there are a lot of them in this world, and they've created these synthetic characters as a way of policing them, and in many cases taking them out. Because these super powered characters can be a menace.
Yes. And there is, you get the sense that not only are these super powered creatures a menace, there's something else. This research on the synthetics is being conducted by this corporation run by this blast, don't know his name either. And oh boy, I'm really rusty. Anyways, you get the sense there's something else going on with that guy, but they don't really reveal it here.
Yeah, they hinted a lot of things about this guy, but they don't, they show rather than tell in many cases.
Yeah. And which is good. The only real complaint I have here is that there's a little bit of this, if she needs it, if she needs something, she can. Where does this happen here? Yeah.
She can just manifest weapons.
Yeah, she can just manifest it. 10, your gloves. You can translocate any weapon from the armory to your, and then, she does it. It's like, oh, shouldn't you have told her that prior to this? It seems like, oh, she needs a weapon now. So it comes off a little bit of that. I mean, it's not the worst thing.
Well, but I think that you're onto something, but you're also not going far enough.
Okay.
Because previous to this, they're hiding out, right? And these guys are trying to kill them, and he's got time to give this whole backstory, right? And then but I forgot to tell you about the magically appearing weapons thing to fight off these guys that are coming and looking for you.
And why are they not trying to escape to the exit instead of sitting around for the backstory a little bit?
I just thought that was absurd. Not the end of the world, but it was absurd.
Yeah, it's kind of the that I admit it threw me off a little bit, and so did the just the weapon suddenly appearing just very conveniently there.
I guarantee you would have put the gun thing at the beginning of the backstory. Like, if anyone breaks in, you can pull a gun out of thin air and shoot them. Okay.
Yeah. So, no, but overall, I mean, I thought the art was good. There is potentially a good story here.
Yeah, it's fun art. The setup is not. It's decent. Some of the characters are quite interesting. I actually didn't think that the lead character, 10, is all that interesting. But some of the other ones are. And maybe they'll make something of her in subsequent issues.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, 10 was a little blasé, other than she clearly has some looks to be some anger issues. But to be fair, though, they wipe her mind after every mission, so
that would suck.
Wiping your mind might also, you could argue here, that's going to dampen her personality some, at least initially. So you might give it an indulgence based on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't actually think though with the protagonist has to be that well developed in the first arc or the first bit of the story, right? You need to know enough about that person. It just depends on who you're focusing on, right? You can focus on other characters, and use the protagonist as sort of a stand-in almost for the reader, to discover this world. Like a good example of that is Marty McFly in Back to the Future, where he actually starts out kind of bland and then eventually becomes more of a character.
Yeah. Okay. No, I enjoyed Perfect 10. I'm looking forward to seeing the next issue. Hang on just a second here. I'm gonna check something. Anyways, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next issue, and hopefully they'll improve. So, alrighty, let's move on to something in between this and SkySharks.
Okay.
And this is something that I found actually on Penn and Teller's bullshit. And yes, I know I'm taking a chance here by sharing this screen, but I will try to keep.
We're not going to be doing my book then.
We might. Okay, let's see how this is looking here. Okay, not pretty good. All righty, let's take a look here. Okay, this is Alien Abductions.
A while, but I need to practice.
This is a picture of my extraterrestrial husband. His name is Talat. The marriage ceremony was really cute. I even think we had a little reception. It was the honeymoon part that was scary.
Do you feel that you
now
I
now, Jeremy, I'm just going to say here that, if you're ever considering, alien matrimony, you might want to bring up your concerns before you get to the honeymoon.
Yeah.
I think the honeymoon is a little late in the day to be.
I think you need
thinking
to
things are scary.
I think look, if you're gonna get married to anyone, but also to aliens, you really need to ask some very probing questions first.
Yeah. But all righty, let's move on to let's get this off the screen and move on to SkySharks next here before we are taken down by
The man.
Yeah, aka YouTube.
Yeah. So, all right, I'll set this up by saying that I always try. Doc always goes these days. Doc always goes first and picks what he's going to review, and then I go second because I try to have it relate in some way to what Doc picks, so we can kind of talk about them together. This one was.
Hang on a second. Let's just take a quick look at the cover here, because.
Okay.
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 It's kind of not a bad cover. I mean, you got a lot going on, and it's you got the big face here, and then it just kind of descends, and looks like it's a little blank over here with all that you've gotten going on. It's like
all you have is the explosions.
Yeah, it's I don't know, maybe this plane needs to be moved a little bit this way, because you've got so much space used up here, and this little extra, this empty space here really kind of sticks out. But other than that, I like the cover. I mean, it is good.
Yeah. So the reason that these are not that closely related, okay, in the sense that the Perfect 10 is in kind of a more superhero-y vein. This is the SkySharks is not. It's more of like a pulpy adventure thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're related, but they're somewhat distinct genres. The reason that I picked this book is because the Perfect 10 starts with some covering of nudity in a comic book. And I thought we would compare and contrast.
Okay, let's go to that page. Well,
so you have like a Sultan-like character.
Well, they don't. I'll admit they don't have near quite the challenge of dealing with the nudity that Perfect 10 did. They have some, but gosh darn it! Come on, view, zoom, and halt.
So here you have the SkySharks. They've gone and talked to their like Sultan-like patron, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I think he's a client. That's what it is. Then in the middle of talking with him, all of a sudden a naked guy streaks the scene.
Gangway, halt.
Yeah,
halt.
yeah. And it turns out it's one of them. And things. Why is he naked? Oh, it gets worse. So
Don't stop. Don't hurt him.
Yeah, the Sultan has
hi,
a daughter. And the Sultan is pissed.
Yeah, and here he's handing him a pillow, and
so they fight their way out.
And he's still holding the pillow as he's running.
The pillow really cracks me up.
Yeah. They
even do more with the pillow. Keep going. So they fly away, they go back to base, right?
And there
and he's still naked, and he's still got the pillow.
Whoopsie. Manga style is not my art, but I do. This is pretty good. I do like the art here. And my complaint was that's fine. One of my complaints with this, and like for example, you started our something okay
squadron. there. I will say that this is. I'm nearly
best
sure
of the best. There's something.
this is not.
What was? Yeah, there's something wrong here.
There was
but
a glitch that in the when I don't think the print copy had the flaws that the digital has.
You're my second in command, Executive Jeff Fuzuka. And so yeah, there's a lot of that.
This is a very old comic, and I got it as part of like there was, I think it was, I backed a Kickstarter, and we got several comics we could download, and so it was like a very old PDF. And there used to be a lot more issues when it came to putting things into PDF. You'd get more glitches like that.
Here's my one concern here is that out of this entire this issue, it's not entirely clear. I mean, it hasn't really set up, at least for me, it hasn't really set up the plot.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, there's a sultan maybe who's after them now, and at the end they are, they've had to land somewhere to get some fuel, and there's some other thugs that who they owe money to or something like that. We have a little debt, but it's not really clear to me what is the overall plot. I mean, what is the what you might say, what's the MacGuffin here? I don't really know. As with Perfect 10, okay, she's kind of caught in some kind of a corporation that uses synthetics like her, and they're battling. Clearly, these awful creatures, the bad creatures, are making headway against the corporation, it looks like. So you're setting up the plot there. This one, I'm not entirely certain where they're going with this.
So what you have is a group of flyboys that when they're talking back and forth, you learn they used to be part of the U.S. government. But they seem to have been almost like sky pirates back in the day. So then they were maybe going to go work for the Sultan guy. That didn't work out because of the daughter thing. And they're not able to refuel because the Sultan, and so they've got to refuel at a different place, and then that bumps them into some old nemesis, and that's the setup for issue 2. So this, I think, is what you're talking about manga. This is obviously the Wes Hartman is we've reviewed books by him before, the Savage Sasquatch books. But Fred Perry is I think he was co-creator and we'd have to go up and look at the credits, but Fred Perry is the artist on this. He's the Gold Digger creator and artist.
Okay. Yeah, Fred Perry. It says Perry here. So.
Yeah, go down though. Let's see how he's credited specifically.
Editor-in-chief, productions.
Well, where does it say?
Yeah, webmaster, artist extraordinaire, Fred Perry, right here.
Okay, so the artist, and then so this is Wes Hartman's thing, but the style is manga, and I think he was writing it with manga in mind. And I actually find that this is, from what I've been able to, I've started reading some manga. They tend to do longer setups because the manga is geared towards long runs rather than shorter series.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so this isn't atypical for manga where you won't in the first installment like this have concretely where it's going. You'll have some hints at it, but there's way more to come until it's like the journey is as important as the story in manga.
I see. Okay, well, so if you're accustomed to manga, then this could very easily be a comic for you. It would fit in your wheelhouse. But if you're not accustomed to manga, and I admit I'm not, it seems like the plot's not being set up very well. And if it stands alone, that's true. But otherwise, if this is typical for manga, as you say, then hey, there's a lot to recommend here.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a tougher call than some things. I like Wes's stuff, and I like Fred's art. So, I'll probably go track this down in print at some point. And I think it was a 5-issue series, and just read it. But it's not going to be for everyone, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I kind of liked it. I just, like I said, I didn't feel there was much plot here, and but it's actually good to know that, because if I ever really want to get into manga, you know, it's good to kind of know that going in, so I don't go, God, all these books, they can't get into it on the plot on the first one. Where's my hemorrhoid cream? You know, so
The most famous, the best-selling manga of all time is called One Piece, right? And it's about pirates, not sky pirates. It's currently at close to 100 collected volumes, which is nuts.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I'm still trying to get into manga. I'm not there yet. Some of manga, sure, but like I was there was, I can't remember the name of it, but there was a manga I was reading. We had to go travel south in the state to go to a funeral this weekend, and I read this manga, and I got to the end, and I'm like, that's the end. You know, it's a short collection, but you know, it really is the journey in manga, and I'm just like, do I really want to keep journeying? I don't know.
All righty. Unless there's anything else you want to say about this, I want to get to our final item this evening.
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's kick the tires and light the fires, dog.
All righty. I guess let's not share the audio, because I don't think we really need to here.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, it's annoying. Okay. Expose. This is from Bleeding Fool. Expose. The Whisper Network exists and seeks to destroy male comic prose, by Penny Parker. I don't know exactly who that is.
I think it's a pseudonym.
Yeah, that would be my guess, because I couldn't find them on her on Twitter, and yeah, it would make sense that that's a pseudonym for this article. Well, I'll just read a couple of quick bits here. Many of the women promoting the cancellation of men in comics and demanding they post the recent empty promise known as Comics Pledge are in fact hypocrites. In this article, I'm going to present evidence of lies, collusion, rumor spreading, in my opinion, defamation and contract interference. I think it should say here in this series of articles, because I'm not sure she presents all of that here. I mean,
well, no.
You know, yeah, like maybe there does seem to be a little something on contract interference. It's certainly strongly suggested by one of the things she grabs from the Facebook page, and we're basically.
I think you need to back up and fill in a little bit more info for people here, Doc.
Yeah, basically this she's talking about a private Facebook group called gosh, what was the fate?
It's like Women in Comics or something.
Yeah, Women in Comics, and you can't actually search for this on Facebook. You actually have to be invited. She does provide a link to it here, and if you click on that link, it'll just say, you know, you can't, that page can't be found. And basically what she's confirming here is something that's been kind of talked about for a number of years, that there is this, it's been called a whisper network of various women that are kind of in and around comics, and that they are coordinating to take down certain male members of Congress, of comics. And I don't know if prior to this it had been discussed as, you know, bumping the men out so that these women can take their place, but it has been dismissed by a lot of the, you know, the people, the women we, you know, often refer to as SJWs, people like Gail Simone, and I don't know. I'll say this: I don't know exactly how attached. I mean, Gail Simone is a member of this group. Exactly how attached she is to all of this, I don't know, because at the end, just very quick, I'm going to scroll here to the end. She gives a hint of what's to this. Penny Parker gives a hint of what's to come, and she do. Boy, this thing goes on a long ways, and there's too many darn ads. Yeah, this is
here's the promise. Look at all the files and how they're marked.
Yeah. and Gail Simone is not one of them here. So supposedly there's a lot to come here, and we were chatting about this in our DMs that a lot we don't really know yet, because this is over a week old now, and we haven't gotten the follow up to this. And it looks like there's going to be a lot of follow up here.
The one thing, if this is it, this isn't enough. If this, what they're hinting at here, once you open these folders up and show people these in articles, could be interesting.
Yeah, it could be. Now, it's been a week, and I actually I DM Bleeding Fool earlier.
I did too, and I've not. I also have not read.
Me neither. But there's one other thing that, and let me bring this up real quick here. We'll just, this was from, this came from Sydney Duncan, and she says, I just read the Whisper Network article by Bleeding Fool. In my opinion, the piece does a pretty good job of putting the author and the publisher in legal jeopardy. But what do I know? I'm just a comics writer who is an attorney. Let's get lawyered. And I kind of thought to myself, well, the article does actually have some pretty, concrete examples, screenshots from Facebook and Twitter, backing up a lot of what some of what she initially says in the article. Now, that list of accusations that was at the beginning, you're going to need more than just what was there. But it's kind of hard to prove, and that's where Duncan goes with this. Is libel. Is libel written or is it libel spoken?
J. Jonah Jameson would know.
Yeah, I get them mixed up, libel or slander, but I think libel
is written.
Libel is written. All right, so it's kind of hard. Again, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know.
Here's the basic problem.
Okay,
this person may or may not understand the law very well here. That's arguable. This person does not understand journalism. Right?
Yeah.
This is sold as the first item in a series. If this is only all that there is, at some point, some of what she says matters. But that's not how it was sold, and we'll see. I'm very much interested in seeing what comes next. I don't particularly care about. The claims are going to be interesting. The receipts are the thing that will matter the most.
Yeah. And so far, though, she has shown some receipts.
Some receipts.
And I don't know how you prove that is libel in court when you have actual evidence. I mean, libel is usually related to you made a comment and there's nothing to substantiate it. Yeah. Now, I don't know. I mean, the best comment I ever heard about lawyers was on a podcast where a guy was saying that, he said there are slippery slopes in the law because lawyers grease them with bullshit. So I don't know. I mean, maybe there is a case here, but it was curious to me as to why. I mean, this is a pretty fierce reaction to this piece. And but she's not mentioned in the piece.
It's not yet.
No. She's not mentioned in the piece, and she's not in one of those files either.
Do you honestly think that I mean, look, if you were doing this, would you put all the names out there?
Well, all right. Okay. Let's. All right. Let's go through that in a second. So I asked her. I put it in a tweet. I said, this is a pretty harsh reaction. Why the harsh reaction? She has not responded. I don't suspect that she will. I'm actually suspecting she'll block me, but as far as I know, that hasn't happened yet, which is I have to admit, I'm rather surprised by that. But all right. Here's some of the possibilities here. Now, granted, One is, but I asked that, you're not even mentioned in the article. Why the reaction? Now, okay, one is that, like you said, maybe she is involved in this. Maybe she is going to be mentioned. She knows something about herself.
Okay.
That's one possibility.
One of the things has to be that she just misunderstood that this is the beginning of a series.
Okay, that's maybe she's not too bright. Okay, that's speculation. I'm not actually, I don't have any proof or receipts of that. The other possibility is maybe she is, one of the things that was in the article is that there's a lot of coordination within this Whisper network. So they will back each other up, and each one will promote what the others want, and so maybe this person is at least tangentially related, and this is a number of the people that have been mentioned in the article saying we need a warning shot fired across the bow, and this is what this person is doing here for them. So that's a possibility. And then I think when I asked her, why the reaction, I think let's see here. This is what I said. I said you aren't even mentioned, so why the strong reaction? And then there was the possibility that Lenore gave, which she felt left out. So, but it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, and the fact that we're getting a fairly strong reaction here makes me wonder exactly. And this was like an 8 tweet thread here too. So it wasn't. It was pretty lengthy. So it certainly leaves me suspicious. Now, does that mean that nobody? People sometimes do lengthy threads over minuscule stuff, but the fact that this was a lengthy one makes me wonder if there's something very serious.
I'm not that interested in what this Sydney Duncan person has to say. I'm
interested only in, is it indicative of there's a lot going on here, and there's a lot there's a fair amount, or maybe a lot that's about to be revealed. I do wonder though why it's taken more than a week to get the second one out. And it's possible that Bleeding Fool took a look at this, and they're scrambling with a lawyer to go over the stuff before they go any further. That's a possibility, and I wouldn't blame them for doing that. But
sure. Look, here's the thing. We'll find out what was said in that group at great length, or this was an exercise in futility. A or B. And when we find out, then we'll find out if this Sydney Duncan person has a point, or if she is full of jelly beans. So I don't. What you
I
can
read,
say full.
You can say full of poo poo. That's okay.
I prefer jelly beans in this case.
All right.
I read the piece. I was interested, and I said, we both, you're a working journalist. I do journalism here and there occasionally. There was a lot to it that looked interesting. There were a few, moments where I thought, he's going a little too far there. And then there was also just okay, so this is the beginning. I want to see the end. Yeah,
I agree. So it'll be interesting. I'm hoping there's going to be more to come here, and and the
other thing is that this isn't a couple of the inaccuracies in the article. One, and part of it's just when you're writing a headline, you have to capture the general sense. You can't account for all the exceptions. But I've seen some of the people that are talked about in this article go after, Blake Northcott, for instance. That's a woman and a Canadian. I do think that that if this is substantiated, there may be a political tilt to some of it, and generally more men than women targeted. But it seems that there's a lot of nastiness to go around.
Yeah. Well, I can't really disagree with you on anything there. So, yeah, but this is when I read this, it's potentially fascinating. And I'll say this: I'm going to be really pissed if there isn't some more in the series, because that last screenshot, my God, that was a teaser.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was a teaser.
Yeah, well, it's like that great line, and if we don't get another one, it's that line from that Dylan song. You know, you just went and wasted my precious time, but don't think twice. It's all right.
Yeah, very true. Very true. All right, man. I think we can sign off now. We've covered everything. So
Yep.
we will be back next week. Probably about an hour. We'll be starting around 8 p.m. next week. So again, nice to be back. And yeah. All righty, everyone. Have a good week. See
Yep.
you soon.
You keep making comics. We'll keep reviewing them.
There you go.